There's going to be a lot of people who get angry at some of the things that I'm about to say, but if one young black man can have his life spared, then that all that really matters to me. I'm going to have 2 quick points to make. Too many young black men have already died because of one thing that they did not do, and that one thing is comply. Comply means to obey, conform, to submit, to surrender, to give in. Surrender to the fact that cops have guns. The cops have big guns. NYPD is New York's biggest gang and they cannot be outdone. They have helicopters, they have trucks, they have vans, they have tanks, they have guns, they have machine guns. They are in control. So just because they made a promise and swore to serve and protect doesn't really matter. Just because they promised to do something doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna do it. We all make promises every day that we don't keep. At the moment, it doesn't really matter who's right or who's wrong. All that matters is that they have a gun and that we need to respond accordingly. So if someone ran up on me with a gun and asked me to do something, I'm not a punk, I don't back down easy, but if they had a gun, it will be common sense to do what they say. It will be common sense to surrender if I want to live. So why should it be any different with a cop? The person with a gun is in control. The fact that the cops have guns, they have helicopters, trucks, heavy machinery, bulletproof vests, smoke grenades. If they say stop, you stop. If they say freeze, you freeze. If they say get out the car, you get out the car. If they say put your hands behind your head where we can see it, you put your hand behind the head where they can see it. If they say surrender, you surrender if you want to live. I mean, every other video out there that I've seen of someone getting shot or killed or choked by the police, I mean, this doesn't justify anything, but every other video that I've seen, they were resisting arrest. Every other video that I've seen, they at least try to escape the police, resist arrest, defending themselves, asking questions. You can defend yourself, but right there's not the time. After the incident, after you complied, you can always get a lawyer, you can always fight the case. But at that time, when a cop asks you to do something and he says freeze, put your hands behind your head, that's when we need to do it. And many people out there are protesting, holding up signs saying don't shoot, stop killing us. No one is out there randomly killing anyone. It's not as if cops are just going out randomly pointing their guns and shooting people. There's always some type of incident before triggers being pulled. And I'm not saying that we don't have crooked cops. We do have crooked cops. I'm just saying that we need to think twice about resisting arrest. I wonder how many young black men will still be alive today if they just had complied. Now, some cops might not be using their authority justly, but not all cops are crooked. We have cops who are angry, who are nervous, who get scared, and they won't hesitate to pull a trigger if they feel threatened. So people out there understand to just comply. At the moment, if a cop approaches me, he is in control, so I'm going to have to respond and I'm going to have to comply if I do not want to die. Now, if a cop is not doing what he's sworn to do, it's not my job to challenge them. I could be sitting in back of a police car, taken to the precinct, maybe they'll take my fingerprints, but if I'm innocent, eventually they'll let me go and I'll live another day. And you may say, no, I know my rights, that's not fair, but a lot of people in the grave knew their rights too. Now, there's gonna be some people out there who think I'm talking about giving up your rights and letting cops abuse you and remaining a slave. No, I'm not saying don't stand up for what you believe in. Yes, some people will have to die in order for some people to live in the future, but there's nothing wrong with complying one time. There's nothing wrong with giving up your rights one time. Now, if you're getting pulled over all the time by the cops, then maybe it's something that you're doing and you need to evaluate yourself. Begin to carry yourself in a manner that is not suspect. These cops are trained to kill. They are trained to identify troublemakers, those who fit the description. And you and I know what the description looks like, so don't dress that way. We have to adapt to our environment. If I lived in a jungle with a bunch of wolves, I'm not gonna be walking around dressed like a sheep. Use wisdom, pull your pants up, look appropriate. Dress like a prospect, not like a suspect. And my second point is stop posting these violent, negative videos on Facebook. It's not helping the situation. Telling young black men to stay angry is not building them up. Posting all these negative, violent videos on Facebook is not building them up. A lot of our young black brothers are still learning, they're still growing, and posting all these hateful, violent videos on Facebook is not helping them. It just makes them more angry and more ignorant. Now, some claim to want justice for our young black men. If it's justice that you wanted, you would do something about the black on black violence that happens in our neighborhoods every single day. What if we got equally as mad when a black person killed another black person than when a cop did it? Here's a good question to ask. The last black on black crime that we experienced, did you protest? Did you rally? Did you seek justice? Did you hold up signs saying stop killing us? Now, a lot of us are accusing the cops of being racist, but some of us need to ask ourselves, who are the true racists? When a white person kills a black person, we say we want justice. But when a black person kills another black person, we say no snitching. I watched a video online where there were 2 black guys fighting on a train station platform, and one of them was stabbing the other one with a knife repeatedly. No one did anything. No one screamed, get off of him. No one said, why are you doing this? No one screamed, we want justice. They just stood there and recorded it with their cell phones. But if that had been a cop or even a white person at that matter, the black people around would have took off their cell phones and pulled the guy off the brother. So it's not so much that cops hate black people, it's so much that we don't love each other enough. So the only way things are going to change if we start to love one another. Every other video on Facebook is of people fighting each other. And if you're spreading this garbage, then you're just as guilty as the person recording the fights. And don't say that you post things to create awareness. How about you create awareness by reporting the video? How about you create awareness by stop liking or commenting on it? Create awareness by spreading love and not hate. Now, do you know why people share videos like that. Now me personally, I'm not a huge fan of red meat, so I might share a video on what goes on behind closed doors in the slaughterhouses, the killing of cows, the abusing them, the brutally beating them. They beat them and torture them for no reason. Now I'll share this video because I want you to share in my mindset, in my opinion, for you to also hate what they do to animals, and maybe you'll stop eating red meat. Now that's my subconscious goal by sharing the video with you. Now when you share these negative, violent videos on Facebook about what these cops are doing, what you're saying to these minds of these young people are, stay angry, hate the police, don't take no BS. If the cop says freeze, you run. Now these are the messages that you're sending out with these videos, and people everywhere are going to begin to hate cops when in fact all cops are not crooked. Now I didn't create this video for the sake of controversy. I created this video to get the message out. I created this video for that young black man who's probably watching saying, you know what, maybe he's right. You know, maybe I should comply. Maybe I should change the way I dress and put my pants up. Maybe I should stop sharing these negative, violent videos on Facebook. Me personally, I work as a youth director because I'm concerned with today's youth. I love the youth, and there's hundreds of youth that can co-sign to that. So since everyone wants to do a challenge nowadays, I challenge you to stop posting these derogatory, negative videos on Facebook. I challenge you to flag these videos. I challenge you to stop liking and commenting on them. I challenge you to comply with an officer when he says freeze, don't move. I challenge you to use wisdom. And lastly, I challenge you to share this video. We are so quick to share every other video and do every other challenge. So how about sharing something that can possibly save a young black man's life today? Accept the challenge.